Long before the Roman legions conquered the known world, they faced an enemy unlike any other. An enemy that didn't just fight with swords and shields, but with something far more powerful: money. This is the story of Carthage, the richest city in the ancient Mediterranean, and its epic clash with Rome. A war that wasn't just about territory, but about two completely different ways of building an empire. Picture this: Carthage, a glittering hub of trade on the North African coast. Its power wasn't forged in military barracks, but in bustling markets and on the decks of merchant ships. Its influence stretched from Africa to Spain, a commercial empire built on wealth. When Carthage needed an army, it didn't call on its citizens. It opened its treasury and hired the best mercenaries money could buy. To the outside world, Carthage seemed invincible, a global corporation in an age of cities. Meanwhile, across the sea, Rome was the underdog. It was an agrarian society, still growing, still figuring things out. But Rome possessed a secret weapon that Carthage overlooked: its people. It had a society built on civic duty and sacrifice, a government that could mobilize its entire population, and a financial system designed not just for profit, but for survival. While Carthage bought strength, Rome built resilience. So when these two titans finally clashed in what we now call the Punic Wars, it was more than just a battle of armies. It was a battle of economic philosophies. Carthage, the venture capitalist, used its immense wealth to fund its war machine. It bought fleets, hired elite soldiers, and purchased influence across the Mediterranean. Rome, the national mobilizer, took a different approach. It raised taxes, issued state loans, and called upon its citizens to serve, turning every man into a stakeholder in the Republic's survival. The bloody battlefields were just the tip of the iceberg. The real war was being fought in the treasuries of these two great powers. Then came Hannibal Barca, Carthage's most brilliant general and perhaps its greatest strategist. He understood the true nature of this conflict better than anyone. He knew he couldn't just defeat Roman legions. He had to break the Roman system. His legendary march across the Alps with his war elephants wasn't just a military maneuver. It was an attack on Rome's economic heart. His strategy was to terrorize the Italian peninsula, to shatter Roman confidence, and to convince Rome's allies that the Republic was a bad investment. He aimed to trigger a financial collapse, to create a credit crisis that would bring Rome to its knees. And for over a decade, it almost worked. Hannibal inflicted devastating defeats on the Romans at Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and most famously at Cannae, where he annihilated a massive Roman army. Any other power would have surrendered. Any other economy would have collapsed. But Rome refused to break. The Senate remained steadfast. The people, despite catastrophic losses, continued to enlist. The financial system, though stretched to its absolute limit, did not fail. The Romans melted down temple treasures, women donated their jewelry, and the wealthy provided loans to the state, refusing to let the Republic fall. Rome's social cohesion was its ultimate financial asset. While Hannibal was busy trying to bankrupt Rome in its own backyard, the Romans played a brilliant long game. They launched a counteroffensive, not against Hannibal directly, but against his source of funding. A young, ambitious general named Scipio was sent to Spain, the heart of Carthage's silver mining operations. This was the treasury that paid for Hannibal's mercenaries and kept the Carthaginian war effort afloat. Scipio's campaign was a strategic masterstroke. By seizing Spain's silver mines, Rome didn't just gain a massive source of wealth for itself. It cut off the financial lifeline of its enemy. Suddenly, Hannibal's position in Italy became precarious. The flow of silver from Spain dried up. Carthage struggled to pay its mercenaries, and its ability to reinforce Hannibal dwindled. The economic tide had turned. Without its financial fuel, the Carthaginian war machine began to sputter and grind to a halt. Rome, having weathered the storm, now had the resources and the momentum. It was time to end the war. Rome then took the fight directly to Carthage. Scipio, now hailed as Scipio Africanus, led an invasion of North Africa, forcing Carthage to recall Hannibal from Italy to defend his homeland. The final showdown came on the plains of Zama. Here, two of the greatest generals in history faced each other. But the outcome of the battle was decided long before the first spear was thrown. Rome didn't just win because it had better tactics that day. It won because it had a system built for endurance. Carthage, for all its wealth, had a system built for short-term profit. When the money ran out, so did its strength. The defeat was total. Carthage was stripped of its empire, its navy was burned, and it was saddled with crippling war indemnities massive, payments to Rome that would take generations to pay off. The great commercial empire became a shadow of its former self, a client state of its bitter rival. Yet, the story doesn't quite end there. In the decades that followed, Carthage did something remarkable. It went back to what it knew best. Trade. Even without an army or an empire, its merchants began to rebuild its wealth. The city started to prosper again, its markets once more filled with goods from across the sea. This economic recovery, this quiet resilience, terrified the Romans. A famous senator, Cato the Elder, began ending all of his speeches in the Senate, no matter the topic, with the same chilling phrase, Carthago delenda est. Carthage must be destroyed. Rome feared not a Carthaginian army, but the idea of Carthage itself, the idea of a rival economic system that could once again rise to challenge its dominance. And so, in the Third Punic War, Rome returned one last time. This time, there was no grand strategy, no battle of wits. It was an act of total annihilation. The city was besieged, captured, and systematically erased from the face of the earth. The epic rivalry between Rome and Carthage is more than just a chapter in an ancient history book. It was the world's first great lesson in economic warfare. It taught us a truth that continues to shape global power dynamics to this very day. Wars are never won by armies alone. They are won and lost by the economic systems that support them, by the resilience of a society, and by the ability to finance not just the present battle, but the future itself. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. See you next time.